Introduce to you this afternoon a man I've known since I've become involved in the Libertarian Party, and I introduced him in Georgia as the greatest libertarian I know, with apologies to Sharon in the back, but he is. To say Lee Wright is passionate is not doing justice to the word passion. Since I've known him, he has been dedicated, principled, solid, stable, honorable, all the words you could think of as a libertarian. And even when he was involved in knockdown, drag-out discussions with fellow libertarians, he has maintained that. He is, as you've heard already, the founder of Liberty for All, which is the premier online web magazine for libertarianism. The motto is "Let Your Voice Be Heard." It was founded in 2000, one of the co-founders, and the rules were, well, there were no rules. Anything goes, and they maintained that. You may not also know that he was also involved in the Free Market Daily, and when that, which was an online or email news aggregate, and when that went belly up, all of a sudden, he helped found the Rational Review Digest, which is the Freedom Movement's daily newsletter. Since Lee's been involved in the Libertarian Party and the Libertarian Movement, in addition to the things that you've heard about earlier today, he has been focusing on researching, compiling information, and editing and writing articles and news digests for the Freedom Movement. His purpose is to help libertarians, big L and small l, and libertarian organizations, big L and small l, make the most of it and most effective and efficient use of the email, e-lists, and other tools of the new media. In Texas, where Lee now lives, he is president of the Foundation for a Free Society, and I have to read this. It's a nonprofit educational organization dedicated to promoting the principles of liberty, personal sovereignty, private property, and the free markets to create a more free and prosperous society. My honor to introduce to you this afternoon, no, I'm not going to say, the greatest libertarian I know, R. Lee Wright.
Thank you, Brian. That's the second time he's done that. It chokes me up every time. I have returned. Thank you. I was born here. I was raised here. Joined the Libertarian Movement. Found a home in this party. Because the people in this room. Tom Howell, Barbara Howell, Sean Hall, Thomas Hill, Brian Irvin, Bill Jacobson. I could go on. We've been in this fight for a long time. That's where this campaign began, right here about 10 years ago. But my anti-war activism goes back even further than that. 40 years or more. I was 10 or 11 years old, Southwest Junior High School. Vietnam War was raging, so they decided to have an assembly, get us all together, explain this war business to us, help us understand what we were doing there, how important it was. I kind of made a name for myself that day. I was asking questions and wondering about the rationale of it all. Speaking truth, seeking truth. It made me a little bit of a celebrity amongst my fellow 8th graders. Not unusual, since I was speaking to them on an 8th grade level. Nobody else was. As a result of that, I helped organize what we called a sit-out. And sure enough, next day, lunchtime, about 200 or 300 of us went out on the front lawn of the school and just sat down underneath the flagpole. That was our way of saying no to war. Now, they came out and threatened us, of course, and nothing worked until they said they were going to call the police and our parents. Well, I wasn't really afraid of the police. But I found out they were going to call my dad, and that's when I went back inside. But what we did that day, the importance of it did not leave me the rest of my life. It made them take notice. And we saw it happen all around us. For the past couple of years, I've traveled across this country speaking to conventions and libertarian groups. And they all ask the same thing. How come the National Party's not on board with this anti-war thing? How come it's not being made an issue? It was particularly prevalent, people asking me that in 2010 in St. Louis, in the National Convention, particularly young people. You know, why are these other groups taking the lead on the war issue when it should be us? Well, after hearing all that, it's clear to me that that's what exactly we should be doing. Is taking a true libertarian message to the crowd, speaking truth. It's like I've been doing for 40 years. This party faces a critical test in this coming election. Somebody's got to stand up and speak about stopping the war. It's got to be a libertarian. So it's not about me, it's about a libertarian message. Knowing the difference between self-defense, true self-defense, and a foreign policy that first thought you have, the first instinct you have when something goes wrong, start bombing somebody else, killing people. And I've said it before, you don't teach people it's wrong to kill people by killing people. Send them the wrong message. That's what our foreign policy does, unfortunately. So that needs to be made a big issue. Economics is going to be a big issue. The budget is another biggie for the president. It's what he controls, what he has power over. And what do? They spend more, spend more. Broke as can be, and all we can do is print more money and spend more. 43 cents of every dollar the United States spends right now is debt. It's not debt we're going to pay. Nobody in this room will pay it. Your children will and your grandchildren will. We've got to put a stop to that too. It's a war on the American people. It's all kinds of war. I know it may seem funny to particularly a lot of you that I just named, know me so long, know me as a warrior. Hear Lee Wright stand up here saying stop all war. I do know how it is to go to war. Wake up every day angry. Standing ready to fight every circumstance that life throws at you. Fueling more anger. It eats you up. Turn you into something you're not really supposed to be. It's hard being at war. It's hard living with it every day. What I've learned from my life is that the first step to stopping war is making a conscious, individual decision. Declare to yourself, I am not at war. So I stand here today to tell you, it is my declaration, I'm still a warrior, but I am not at war. I'm not going to wage war anymore. Because that don't get us anywhere. You've proven it all over the world. Makes us a poor nation economically, makes us a poor nation morally. We're making enemies all over the world. And here we are now, raising a whole nother generation of children. Every child in this country, 10 years old or younger, has known nothing but war their whole life in their country. We've not been at peace. None of them. includes all three of my grandchildren, who I love dearly. Don't these children have a right to know what it's like to be a peaceful nation, be friends with people, get a lot further with bombs and trade, with trade, friendship, than we will with bombs. Another thing we need to bring to this country. So, that's why I came home, to tell you, my family and friends, I'm gonna run for president.
Woo-hoo!
I'm gonna take this message. It's not just a libertarian message, this is an American message. This is something that people can latch on to. You look around what the young people are wearing these days, their clothes, all the peace signs, peace symbols, jewelry, tattoos, everything. They know they're the ones going to have to fight.